Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Gamecock Central Radio. It's Emerson Phillips, joined by the captain, Carey Rich. We're going to talk a little Gamecock men's basketball right now. And, Carey, we're in the off-season. The season has not been over but about 2 months, but it's been a very eventful off-season for head coach Frank Martin. News coming out yesterday that Keenan High School product Marcus Stroman, a sophomore guard this past season for the Gamecock basketball team, will transfer. And, Carey, before we started the podcast today, we talked about the tremendous turnover that the Gamecock roster has experienced in these last couple of months. I counted 16 players on the roster for the season that ended 2 months ago. And as of today, the first day of June, 8 of those players are no longer on the team. Michael Carrera, Lamonis Jatkevicius, and Mindaugas Kaichenis, along with Brian Steele, used up their eligibility. And we've had 2 transfers and 2 player dismissals since the end of the season. So talk about what's going on with Gamecock men's basketball, Carey.
Well, I think at the end of every year, especially from a basketball standpoint, you expect some attrition. You expect some turnover. I think this year was a little bit more than we all expected, a little bit more eventful simply because of how the turnover took place or what was associated with the turnover. Whenever you're having to kick players off the team and ask them to transfer because of their actions, that's never a good thing. A guy like Marcus Stroman, it's simple, and I don't mind saying that Marcus is a Columbia guy, so there's a special affinity that I share for a guy like Marcus, a guy from Columbia. But right now he's part of a very crowded backcourt, and for Marcus, he has dreams of playing a little bit more than what he's probably going to get here at South Carolina. While some may want to associate the getting into trouble there at the end of the year with the sole reason of maybe Marcus Stroman transferring, while that might have played some role, I could tell you that wasn't the primary factor in Marcus Stroman transferring. Marcus Stroman transferred because Marcus Stroman did not feel like he would get a fair shake here with regards to vying for playing time. He wanted more playing time, and quite frankly, I get it. I understand it. Going into your junior year, you want some you want some certainty. Certainly, you don't want anything promised to you, but you want a little certainty. You want some confidence and all that. You know what? I'm going to be given every opportunity to fight, battle, and claw for minutes out on the court. And in Marcus' opinion, in his mind, he thought he could get those minutes elsewhere.
All right, so just to review and to get you caught up, the week of the NIT, the Gamecocks missed out on the NCAA tournament. They were the first major conference team with 24 wins to ever be not invited to the NCAA tournament, ended up in the NIT, and then the day of the first NIT game, 5 players were suspended by Coach Martin for an off-the-court incident that involved use of a BB gun. There was some personal property damaged. 2 players were arrested. Eric Cobb and Jamal Gregory, both freshmen who did play some good minutes for the Gamecocks this past year, were later dismissed from the team. Ray Doby and Marcus Stroman have now transferred out, and Tamarcus Blanton was involved in that incident as well. Nobody was hurt, but there was damage to personal property, and it was just kind of young person foolishness, honestly, Carey, for lack of a better way of putting it. So this has resulted in the departure of a number of players off of last year's team. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like Frank Martin and his staff have been left scrambling a little bit trying to find some new players to come in, and Martin has signed 6 kids to come in and play for the Gamecock men's basketball team. We'll talk a little bit about them, but talk about the situation that Frank Martin is left in here. He didn't have any idea this is the way the season was going to come to an end, and I think a lot of the players that have left the program, he was going to be counting on for the upcoming season.
Yeah, huge turnover. Again, I don't think anybody expected this number of players to depart the program. But whenever you put yourself in harm's way, then you make it very difficult for the coach to trust you. You make it very difficult for the coach to vouch for you. You make it very difficult for the coach to rely and count and depend on you. And that was the case. Now, I will tell you that, Gregory and Cobb, but Gregory more so than anybody else, he was counted on to be a big part of what this team was going to do next year. I think he showed flashes this past year with his athleticism. with his defensive tenacity, just played with a great feel for the game. So, that was going to hopefully carry on into his sophomore year. Cobb was able to have some degree of success. Obviously, he was a freshman, so he needed to go through it just a little bit more. But I didn't think, and maybe initially when all of the stuff came about with the guys getting in trouble, I thought that Marcus Stroman and Dobie would be able to see it through. I thought those guys would eventually get back on the team. But as we got further along in the process, and I didn't see anything that represented those guys getting back on the team, I think it became more of a reality for me that it was possible that both of those guys could end up leaving the program, and that's what's taken place. And now, Frank and his staff, they have been forced to scramble, and they've been able to, go out and land some kids, and hopefully these kids are good enough to come in and impact the team in a positive manner, because you don't want to take a step back. I think this team made great strides last year, even though I think there was a missed opportunity getting into the NCAA tournament. There are a lot of reasons, a plethora of reasons why some people think they didn't make it. That's all subjective. That's all argumentative. The reality of it is that this team did not get into the NCAA tournament. And I thought they had all of the pieces in place to get to the NCAA tournament, but they faltered there at the stretch. And again, faltered down the stretch. And again, I thought it was just a missed opportunity. Now, with having to recruit, you want to be sure to, and this is where you have to trust your coaches, Emerson. And I know there seems to be a lot of questions out there regarding, who the kids are, what type of talent they're bringing to the table. I think it's important to always trust the coaches. Coaches know their teams, know their players better than any of us. And all of us that are following the program, we're considered outsiders. Even as close as I am to the program, I'm an outsider because I'm not at practice every single day. I'm not in the boardroom with those coaches every single day. So they know what their needs are. They know what and how they need to recruit to those needs. So now is the time to trust the coaches, and you hope that that trust will allow some productive players when it's time for those guys to step foot on the floor. But a lot of turnover, more than usual, and I think a lot of people are curious to maybe satisfy some of their curiosities, and just like them, I'm curious to see some of the unknown commodities regarding how good some of these guys are. But I trust the coaches. They know these players more than we do.
Gamecock Central Radio, Emerson Phillips with the captain, Carey Rich. We invite you to download the Gamecock Central Radio app on the App Store and on Google Play to subscribe to the podcast. Search for Gamecock Central Radio on iTunes, SoundCloud, and other popular services, or visit radio.GamecockCentral.com. Half the roster has been turned over. Basically, 8 players have left the program for a variety of reasons. So 6 new players have been signed. Carey, talk briefly about Sadie Keita, the 4-star power forward. He's a Philadelphia native. He prepped at 22 Foot Academy in Greenville, South Carolina, and he chose the Gamecocks over Providence, Penn State, and Temple. He signed back in the fall.
Keita is a kid that I expect to come in and start, play right away, and I'll be very, very surprised if he's not a starter. I know they speak highly of him. I know they're excited about his skill set that he brings. He's a guy that's not only able to rebound the basketball, but he's a guy with the skill set that's able to initiate offense. And when you look at the best teams out there right now, a lot of teams are successful because they have a post guy that's able to, have some ball handling duties, especially with the way guys are playing ball screens and guys rolling to the basket. Well, he's able to offer some of that. And I know the coaching staff is really, really excited. And obviously, we're talking about a hypothetical situation with Silva coming back and being part of the mix. But I know before the incident and before Silva was suspended, those 2 guys were the 2 guys that the coaching staff was really, really excited about partnering together down in the post because of how they complement each other. Silva, obviously, athleticism, raw, but We expect him to take a big jump next year. And they thought about Keita and how his skill set will complement and supplement. Again, we're talking hypothetical here. With Silva being back in the line of how those guys will complement each other. But he's a guy that will come in and play right away, and wouldn't be surprised if he's a starter come basketball season.
All right, Keita signed back in the fall, so we knew before all this offseason mess started that Keita would be coming in. So Frank Martin, with the departure of all these players in the last 2 months, has gone out and signed 5 additional players. Let me give you them real quick. Rakeem Felder, a 6-foot guard, coming in from Brooklyn, New York, where he played high school ball, but he originally started his high school career at Indian Land High School in Fort Mill, South Carolina. Strong finisher at the rim, excellent defender, 3-star prospect. Felder coming in to join the Gamecocks for the 2016-17 season, as will Hassani Gravett, a 6'2 guard out of Villa Rica, Georgia. Played at Pensacola State College last year, and he earned Panhandle Conference Player of the Year. He was also the Georgia High School 4A Player of the Year after his senior season at Alexander High School in Georgia. 7'1" center Kadeem Gaye out of Senegal. Played high school ball at Victory Rock Prep in Bradenton, Florida. Strong and physical center. He can run the floor. 3-star prospect. Frank Martin calls him an elite shot blocker. Coach Martin says he does need some offensive improvement, but he's a rim protector, and Coach Martin referred to him as KG, Kadeem Gaye, 7'1" center coming in, 220 pounds. Also, Mike Kalev Katsar from Estonia by way of Wichita, Kansas, another 3-star prospect. He was a member of the Estonia under-18 national team that competed at the 2014 FIBA European Championship. Don't know much about Katsar at this point, 6'9", 220-pound forward. And the final player is Corey Holden, who has transferred to South Carolina from Delaware. He will not be available for competition for the upcoming season due to NCAA transfer rules. He will join the Gamecocks for the 2017-18 season, so he will sit out the upcoming year. He's originally out of Salisbury, Maryland. So, Carey, we don't know a lot about these new guys that are coming in, but you're going to get a chance to check them out at your Pro-Am on July the 10th.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these guys. I think most of them are campers. A few of them are waiting to satisfy different things before they get to campus in July. But I am looking forward to seeing all of these guys up close and personal at the SC Pro-Am. And we're going to have a lot of great competition. I was on the phone the last couple of days with coaches from the College of Charleston, Wofford, Winthrop, South Carolina State. So we'll have all of those guys taking part in the SC Pro-Am. And just, it gives the kids an opportunity to go up against guys from different schools, guys in different jerseys in a safe and competitive environment. And this will be year number 5. And you look at Michael Carrera, you look at the breakout year he had last year, and let's not forget, he was an all-consensus all-SEC performer, and he credited the Pro-Am because he worked on his weaknesses. He became a better perimeter player. He became a better perimeter shooter, and that resulted in this team winning 25 games, but also Michael Carrera being named consensus all-SEC. And this is what we try to offer in the program. It's not pick-up ball. It's not something where guys just come together and throw the ball up. Their structure and my responsibility to the coaches that allow their players to come and be a part of it is to make sure these guys are doing the things necessary and doing the things that are going to directly transfer back to what they're doing in their respective programs. And Michael Carrera is a great example of that. So I look forward to our 5th annual FC Pro-Am. And again, like many of our Gamecock fans, I look forward to seeing what a lot of our new players will offer come July and come basketball season.
All right, Gamecock fans, basketball fans, welcome to check out the Pro-Am. It'll be on July the 10th. Carey, where will that take place?
It's going to be at Heapwood Hall. Heapwood Hall, July the 10th. We'll play on Thursdays and Sundays, and we'll run it for 2.5 weeks. And we'll have the exact dates outside of the 10th coming up shortly. And also another quick tidbit for our Gamecock fans, P.J. Dozier, a rising sophomore, has been invited to Stephon Curry's Elite 30 basketball camp out in the Bay Area late June. And this is a camp where Steph Curry personalizes invites by emailing the participants and asking them to be a part of his under the elite camp, and that camp was comprised of the top prep players to go along with the top college prospects with regards to sharpening their skills, and they'll do a lot of film study, a lot of on-the-court stuff. And these guys, I thought it was a big honor for PJ to get accepted and get invited to the Steph Curry Elite 30 basketball camp.
Outstanding. All right, the Gamecocks cupboard certainly is not bare. The top players returning off of last year's team, with the exception of Carrera, Chatkevicius, and Mendagas Kaichenis, who have used up their eligibility. But Sindarius Thornwell's back, Dwayne Notice is back, P.J. Dozier obviously back, Justin Mackey, Chris Silva, Tamarcus Blanton, all expected back for the upcoming basketball season. But a very eventful offseason so far for Frank Martin and Gamecock men's basketball. We wanted to bring in Gamecock Central basketball analyst Carey Rich to talk about it. Carey, we appreciate your time today. Hope you have a great summer. Thank you.
That sounds good. Let's do it again soon, Emerson.
All right, we'll do it. He's the captain, Carey Rich, and I'm Emerson Phillips, and this is Gamecock Central Radio. Thanks for being with us.